Sippers, welcome to this episode of the Tea With Me podcast. With me, let me check. Oh yeah, that's right, Shane Todd. How we doing? I just sound like a commercial DJ there. Guys, how we doing? How you doing? Let me know. Get in touch. It's a great day in Belfast. What are you getting up to? What are the plans? Let me know. I hit myself. It's a good time. I'm wearing a pair of shorts. I'm feeling good. A lot of people are like, NBC, Money Toad. Are you getting that rest in? Because you were complaining that you're only really getting the sleep because of your selfish baby. You're only really getting the sleep, 3 hours, 4 hours a night. Any progress on that? Yeah, I'm getting 10 minutes more than I was. So it's all good and I feel better. I look good, even though I kind of have one curtain, but that's just the way I wanted it. It's a fun time. I take my shoes off here, if I'm totally honest. My house, my podcast, that's the way it's going to be. It's a shoes off. In fact, everyone listening and watching, take your shoes off. Thank you, appreciate that. It was always weird when you went into someone's house and they were like, my mum and dad say you have to take your shoes off. I mean, that's maybe someone who has just had too much dog shit trampled through the house. I get it. And the Japanese love that as well. Not dog shit. Could make a joke there, will not. I was going to say it's not the Japanese. But here's the thing. What? Here's the thing. I think in a lot of Asian cultures, and I don't know what I'm basing this on, you're not supposed to wear your shoes indoors. And I'll be honest, I don't think they wear socks indoors either. And that's just something that you have to respect if you ever find yourself, in Asia. Which I've never been to Asia. But I think I would like it. I think I'd like to go to Tokyo because it seems a little bit mad, I don't know what I'm talking about, but all I know is this. It's been a crazy week online. I feel like we're going to talk about it in listeners' questions. Someone will have asked it. I don't know. It seems... Do you know, I got into this weird thing of like, for someone who doesn't watch the news or really read the news, I'm sorry, hold on. Speaking of news, Mickey Bartlett. This is where I get my news from. Mickey. They're bringing in chlorinated meat soon, boys. I don't know what that is. Is it meat with chlorine in it? I don't know. Listen, here's the thing. I swam and stuff for every Wednesday for about 10 years when I was young, swimming, and it hasn't done me any harm. I mean, I've no feeling in my skull, but apart from that, it's all good. Chlorinated chicken. It's one of those things, isn't it? We'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. It's not really a topic for this podcast. What we talk about in this podcast is life. What we talk about is facts. We talk finance. We talk entertainment. We talk goss. And I don't know, I was saying, like, for someone who doesn't watch the news, this week has been a mad week. And this is how desensitized you get to it all. I didn't even watch all the footage of the giant bomb that went off in Beirut. I didn't even watch it because it was being sent around on WhatsApp and people posting up on their Facebook, people who, giving their take on it, and it's horrible. I think I can't even watch or read about that kind of thing, and maybe that's ignorant, but I don't know. The Money Toad's operating in very little sleep. He's got the claws out. He's been very, very bitchy to a lot of people. For example, I put up a picture of me and Dave Elliott this morning because tonight we're back on BBC Radio Ulster, 6:05. The lads, the Shane Todd Show. BBC Radio Ulster, tune in. I want to see all the sippers over there, just drinking tea and enjoying the beats. But I put a picture up of me and Dave. Well, it was actually Simon and Garfunkel. This guy Craig writes under it. Probably a great guy. Probably not. Craig writes under it. I said, here's me and Dave Elliott getting ready for the show on Friday. He said, is that not Simon and Garfunkel? Now, I like banter like that where you point out something very obvious and pretend that you didn't know if the person meant it or not. So I liked it from Craig, but he spelled Garfunkel wrong, and I saw an opportunity, and I pointed my claws out, and I said, no, mate, it's Simon and Garfunkel, but I spelled it the right way. And then I said, Craig, delete your social media immediately, all accounts. And that's kind of the vibe we're in right now. I'm just telling people, hey, delete this. I want people to apologise for things. I don't know. Social media has become, maybe it's always been this like Wild West type thing, and your boy likes to just put up cute pictures of himself and plug the podcast and shows, and that's all it's going to be. I don't know. There's just so much going on, and the money toad just wants to sit in his lily pad and enjoy himself, and I think the sippers are the same. Before we get into the pod, because we do have loads of listeners' questions, and there's something I want to watch, but I don't know what to type to get it, so we're just going to see if that works. But let me plug Patreon, patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. You get the bonus episode on a Monday. You get my whole stand-up film from last year, the Todd Father Show, live from the waterfront. If you're a sipper, you get the code for that. You get to watch it. You also get a merchandise giveaway once a month. Unbelievable. Somebody won a mug last month. Scenes. Also the merch is out there. All the Tea With Me podcast merch, which is selling really well. All the Keith Cruz t-shirts sold out. Shane Todd Comedy Shopify. Oh dear, Granny doesn't know the difference between them. Yeah, you wanna just Google. Give it a Goog. Shane Todd Comedy Shopify. And that's where you get the Tea With Me merch. We have the Keith Cruz t-shirt is sold out. We've got the Tea With Me mug. We've got the Sipper t-shirt. We've got the Money Toad t-shirt. And hey, we make sure that the stuff looks very sexy as well. Because we don't just want it to be functional. We want it to be, and I quote again, very sexy. And that's what it is. The Money Toad t-shirt, the Sipper t-shirt. I actually have both on their way to me, I think. So I can just beat about them in the house. Right, this thing I want to watch. I don't know. See if I just type in what it is. I don't know if it'll come up. Northern Ireland boy band. Nah. Do you know what I should do? What I should do is just put it out right now on Instagram, and someone will get back to me by the time the show's over, because I feel like we need to watch this together. Because I purposely was going to watch it on a podcast but didn't. Guys, I'm doing the Tea With Me podcast live recording at the minute. I need to know something. There was this video that came out, and it was like a Northern Irish boy band filmed down like Harland and Wolff docks. If anyone knows what that is, please send me the name of it or the link to it. Thank you. This is some Inception podcast shit right now. Yeah, so we'll find that, because I really want to see it. I think it was like from about 10 years ago, and it was just a load of guys from Northern Ireland doing like full dance routine, but they were like my age, you know what I mean, like slightly too old to be doing it. Like, I mean, I could still probably be in a boy band, but I think they would lie about my age in it. They'd be one of those ones. I don't know, like that's the thing about getting the main time you realise that you're old is whenever you realise you would be in the over 25s on X Factor, because whenever you're a kid you're like, over 25s, that's ancient. And then you get to 32 and you're like, oh my god, I would be in the over 25s for 7 years. Just one of those people that keeps going back in X Factor. What about those guys? You know, Louis, like, and we've seen you before, is that right? That's so bad, Louis Walsh. I'm Louis Walsh, we've seen you before, is that right? And Simon Cowell is like, aye man, you've been back loads of times. Yeah, there's guys who are always on X Factor. And they're like, you know, just feel like I've gone away and worked on what I needed to. And with hindsight, I realised I wasn't ready when I thought I was. And then they get through, but at judges' houses, they get told no. What about when people get told... what about people get told no at judges' houses in X Factor and, like, claps onto the ground crying? It's a singing competition. Don't worry about it. Speaking of singing, I'm not doing those jingle ads anymore. I've retired. Just want to throw that out there. You know, like Condoleezza Moy, you've seen me do Martin Phillips floors, all that kind of thing. I'm done. I want to focus on comedy now. We've been there, we've done it, we've worn the t-shirt. That's not the phrase, is it? Been there, done that, bought the t-shirt. And speaking of t-shirts, I thought I'd let you know this. It's just cropped into my mind. Whenever I was in Mallorca, whenever I was a kid, there was what looked like a German man, or definitely like a European man. He was pretty fat, and he was walking about in a red t-shirt with white writing, and it said, "You the man, but you and Da were very close together." And I remember turning to my mother and saying, "Mother, it looks like his t-shirt says UDA man." And it didn't get enough of a reaction, but I thought at the time that was very funny that I noticed that. And I thought it was quite fun. I mean, the alternative's funny as well, that he's actually just from the Shankill, or anywhere else. Apologies to anyone from the Shankill, but there definitely is guys in paramilitaries in the Shankill. Let's not lie about it. Let's definitely not lie about it. I'd say in every town and village in Northern Ireland there is one person at least in a paramilitary. Fair or not? And I'm just saying in the Shankill there's at least 2. I don't know, maybe I might start a paramilitary, but just be like dead on, like lifting rubbish and all. But doing it in balaclavas, I mean, definitely weird chat. Alright, I have loads of listeners' questions. I'm going to wait on that video being sent in to me, and we're just going to go through the listeners' questions. It's going to be a laid back pod. I know I've been saying this for a while. We're back in the studio next week. We're 100% back in the studio next week. Anthony McWilliams says, "Have you ever contributed the lad flag? Should snitches get stitches, and is it really that bad in the BBC comedy writing room?" A lot to digest here. I'm not going to spend too long on it, but have I ever contributed the lad flag? Lad flag was a social media account set up during the flag protest to basically parody all the stuff that was going on, and you never knew who it was behind it. Then it came out who it was. Then this Sunday in the newspapers, that person outed somebody else that was in it. People are free to look that up themselves, and a lot of people are talking about it, so it's not like I'm breaking the news to you. I think anything that's set up to parody something, and if you're taking the piss out of something in a fair way, that's fine. I'm a comedian, so I don't police comedy. You know, I don't, whether I think something's funny or not, or offensive or not. I'm not saying it is offensive. I remember seeing the lad flag stuff in the first, say, 6 months that it was around, and then never seeing it again. But yeah, and a lot of people are like, it turned into this thing, you know, it turned sectarian, it turned this, it turned that. I don't know, and I genuinely don't have an opinion. If you listen to the podcast, you know I don't fence it. I'll tell you like my opinion on something, my honest opinion on something, because I'll ramble about it, so it's never like pre-rehearsed. But I don't police comedy. I don't tell anybody else how to, whether something is sort of funny or not. I'm trying not to be rambly here. What I mean is, whether it turned into what people say it did, I don't know, because I actually didn't know it was still going, in all honesty. But I do remember that account used to very heavily troll Mickey Bartlett. A wee bit myself, me time to time. It mainly had to go with a show called Monumental, which was a panel show from here that was on BBC Northern Ireland for 2 series. Mickey was a regular team captain on it. I did 1 episode, and I just remember getting a lot of tweets from the lad flag account, which, bear in mind, was set up to parody the flag protests, and it was all like, this show isn't funny and why is this on TV? Maybe not said in that way, but very much like, not being cute about it, like very much being direct. And the account would just comment on like videos I'd done, and I wasn't getting as bad as, I definitely remember Mickey getting it a lot, and always having a back and forward with him, which, I mean, it's fine, but the idea that there's no face or name to put to it just makes me feel awkward about it, or like uneasy. I'm like, well, let's have a conversation. Who are you? You know, who are you? And so I hated that. I hated that it was trying to be a comedy account, but it was slagging off local comedians, and it was anonymous. So I never liked that about it, and I could tell there was always, well, I felt there was always like a thing of whoever was behind it, whether individually or collectively, was like, we should be on TV. In fact, I'm pretty sure they said in the tweet to either me or Mickey once, something along the lines of, sure, BBC wanted us, but we said no, or whatever. It's irrelevant. To answer your question, yes, I was the... To answer your question, yes, I was the moderator for 3 years. And a lot of people would say as soon as I joined, the sectarianism went through the roof. No, believe it or not, I was not involved. Because if I was, then I used it to slag myself off. Which might have been actually pretty smart to make it seem that I wasn't in it. I'm sweating. No, all the controversy around it this week and all the comments about it, it seems like... Let me take a sip of cold tea. It was an uncomfortable time to like read about it, to see about it. There was people involved. I didn't want to get involved in a conversation. The whole time the conversation was going on, I was like, thank God this has nothing to do with me. Because I think if you in this day and age, like I'm probably of all time, if you do something anonymously, if you do something under an alias or whatever, it will always come back to you. It will always come back to you, and there will be people, as soon as it does come back to you, they use it to constantly attack you. So I never had any like long term like they slagged me off, whoever that was, because it was a faceless person, there wasn't really much to think about. But I was like, I'm not involved in this conversation. I was obviously reading about it, watching about it, all that kind of thing online, and then I was brought into the conversation in one very insignificant tweet, where one of the original guys from Lad Flag, his wife said, just to let you know, my husband was never motivated by trying to like be a BBC writer or get on TV she's like, he didn't want to be in the BBC writers room with the likes of Give My Headpiece and Shane Todd. Now, what I didn't like about it was that I wasn't tagged in it, right? Because if you wanna throw shots at Mummy, definitely let Mummy know that it's happening. And Mummy saw it, don't get me wrong, because immediately sippers were like, hey, why is he getting brought into this? And it reminded me of whenever I was like a teenager outside nightclubs. It reminded me of any time a fight would kick off. For some reason, girls I'd never met before would always feel the need to like protect me. If guys were fighting and I was near, girls would be like, don't be smacking him, no, leave him out of it, he's only small. I'd be like in the middle of a ring of girls like chained around me going, leave him, he's weak, I don't need you here. But it did. But yeah, it, especially doing the episode with, sorry if this is rambly, right, and sorry if this is not interesting to some people, but doing the episode of Tea With Me with Tim earlier in the week, to be like thrown in with like the Give My Headpiece guys is nothing but a compliment. It's nothing but a compliment, because they have been on our screens and making people laugh for literally decades. So I actually took it as a little bit of a compliment. And look, did I have a tweet written out that my wife taught me how to post in? Yes. Yes, that is the case. She was like, you're a 32-year-old father. You need to not be involved in this. Don't put yourself in this. And that's where I was like, yes. Yes, that is why I shouldn't be allowed a phone. Because what I was going to do is, and the reason I didn't do this is because I was like, this is a horrible row that's going on. I don't want to be a part of it. But I was going to write back and say, sorry it took me a while to respond to this tweet, but me and the Hole in the Wall gang have, as per, been down at the bank cashing checks. And I was going to mock up a photo of me and the whole cast to Give My Headpiece with wheelbarrows of money. But I didn't do that. But I want to let you know that I thought about doing that, and my wife said no. And I do what I want, but I said, okay. And I got my friend to mock up a little picture of me and Uncle Andy, and I said, excuse me, and everybody wins because I'm not attacking anyone, but I'm having a laugh with everyone at my own expense. So I thought that it was nice to be involved in that way. But yeah, to summarise, no, I have never been a member of the Lad Flag account. So there we go. But there will always be that question mark, considering how much I was like, no, because they slag me. So, you make up your own mind. But no. And Anthony McWilliams, is it that bad being in the BBC Comedy Writers' Room? No, it's great. It's genuinely an ambition of mine that I've had for... How lame is this, right? It's an ambition of mine that I've had for genuinely since before I started comedy. In fact, since I was in primary school, in P7, I was chatting to my friend Chris McBride, and we came up with an idea for a TV show called The Kings of Comedy. Now, it was probably a little bit, what would you say, premature for us to label ourselves the Kings of Comedy, considering we were in P7 in Strandtown Primary School and had not yet published any material. But we were going to do this live sketch show on BBC one day. So it's pretty great, actually, to be doing stuff in BBC with BBC. And I finished my sketch show this week. Or not my sketch show, my archive show, previously with Shane Todd. I think it's on in August, but I'm not too sure. But it was a lot of fun. There was an error where they deleted a little bit of footage and I had to go back in and film some stuff. And I just want to say my attitude was phenomenal throughout that. And I want everyone to know that. And it's a shame that we filmed it under social distancing measures because it was just a crew of 3 and I wish there was a lot more people. So everybody knew, hey, he approached this with a good attitude even though he had to come back in and he's getting an hour and a half sleep. And he still, and to quote everyone there, to quote me, he still looked great. There you go. My hair's a little bit different in a couple of scenes. Don't worry about that. Don't ever comment that. I mean this, don't ever write, whenever the show comes out, hey man, why from one episode to the other is your hair a different length? Because if you do, you'll end up in McGabry. And that's all I'm saying. Anthony, thanks for your question. Sorry about the 7-hour answer to it. Lisa Harker, do you laugh at your own jokes? I do. To summarise, sorry, I don't think stand-up should ever tell stand-ups how to do stand-up or be like, that's good or that's bad. There you go. Just write jokes. That's what you got to do. That's all you should be worried about. So there you go. Lisa Harker, who, if you know the Maggie Muff character, nearly giggled when I said Muff, from loads of stage shows around Northern Ireland, very popular character. I think Lisa wrote or was involved with, it was 50 Shades of Red, White and Blue, which is like a 50 Shades of Grey parody, which was very, very popular. Lisa says, do you laugh at your own jokes? And then she says, I do. Do I laugh at my own jokes? My podcast is usually an hour-long episode twice a week of me laughing at my own jokes. There's nobody else here because we're not in the studio. So it is essentially just me laughing at my own jokes. I've probably done it a couple of times up until now and I'll do it more. I love to laugh at my own jokes. No one finds me funnier than me. And if audiences find me half as funny, I'll be selling more tickets. If that's possible. At least I think you have to laugh at your own jokes. I love when people comment and stuff and be like, this guy just cracks himself up. Yes, he does. Oh, 1,000%. 1,000%. I will say the sentence a lot. That should have got more. That should have got more. I think you have to laugh at your own jokes. Rebus says, how best do you strain a tea bag? Rebus, that's disgusting. Getting it out of the cup with a spoon is a given, but do you risk squeezing the last of the tea goodness out of it with a finger, potentially burning out your precious digit? Do you take the time to find something else to drain it, or does it get binned? Rebus, what are you... that got very, very dirty. Risking a digit. That's the name of this week's podcast. There we go. Risking a digit. Burning your precious digit. Yeah, okay, let's call it burning your precious digit. No, I'm a spoon guy, so I'll spoon the tea about 15, 20 times, press against the side again, give a quick drain, throw in the bin. Simple as that. Anyone who does anything different, you're going to McGabry. Noah Ballard says, let me see. Noah says, thoughts on this? Ingenious innovation or blasphemy? Tea in a microwave. New research says it could be the perfect cuppa. My thoughts on that immediately are anger, or confusion, and just sheer dismissal. Let me see. The scientists think they may have hit the head on the perfect cup of tea. They make it in the microwave. The Chinese are behind this shocker. Have they not done enough damage? Huh? Coronavirus gets out of the lab in Wuhan, and now this? Let me see. So, I don't like the way this article is written, but all I'll say is I would be tempted to try it, because you got to try it to slag it. So I'll try tea in a microwave, Noah, and I will update you guys and let you know how I got on. Niall Dalton, if you could be sponsored by one sports brand, what would it be? Nike, my man. Just do it. 100%. I'll just say this guy's first name in case he wasn't allowed to do what he did, but my man Stevie may or may not work for a sports brand that has may or may not already been mentioned. And one day he was like, listen, I've a load of gear for you here. Not gear as in gear, I mean gear as in like sweet threads. He's like, I must fire it down to you or come and pick them up. And for some reason I thought it was like, I was like, that's very kind. I thought it was like maybe like a t-shirt and a pair of socks. And I was like, nice one, man. And we were like ships in the night. We always missed each other. And, you know, I was like, oh, I'm away for a while. He was away working. Then eventually at one day I was like, here, I could call up and grab that. Go up to his house. He's like, oh, mate, there you go. There you go. Just some stuff we had like lying about. Thought you'd enjoy this. It was what can only be described as 7 tons of phenomenal night gear. And it's stuff that I wear pretty much every day. I lay it here. I did such a 14-year-old girl thing. I laid all the clothes out that he gave me. I took pictures of them and I sent them to my friends. And there was some football tops in there, and hoodies and tracksuit bottoms and t-shirts, and it made me like extremely happy, because when he gave me this stuff, he gave me it in a big black Nike rucksack, and I just left that on my passenger seat and just drove home. But like, oh, what's in there? And then I got home and I was so happy. Isn't that's such a young boy thing to say? And I was happy. It was good, but it was. And Stevie, we should make that a monthly thing. That's very me. Hey man, really appreciate that. Let's send over gear as it gets released. So yeah, now I definitely go Nike. Kieran Fleming, what's the monster under your bed called? Yeah, I did say earlier that I put up a tweet saying that weird. I put up a tweet saying that I'm a 32-year-old with a 3-week-old son, but I still run and jump into the bed in case a monster grabs my foot. There is some truth in that. Here's the thing. The reality somewhere in between. I don't run and jump into bed. I do walk and get into bed, but I don't hang about at the bottom of the bed, put it that way. I don't mess about and stand and gossip with my feet directly beside the bottom of the bed. I do get in pretty sharpish. And the monster under my bed is called Ralmote. But he was called that before the Ralmote. It's just coincidence. I think that's it on Twitter, and then Instagram. Let's see who we got. Oh, Johnny Bow coming in with a very good joke there. I put that video out saying just there now, that Instagram post being like, what was that boy band called that did a video of them doing a dance routine around Harlem Wolf? And Johnny Bow said, I think it was these Belfast Protestant boys. Johnny, 7 out of 10. I enjoyed that. Yep, that's... I'm doing a gig, and then the guy running it's like, here, can you do a track and trace? I don't know what a track and trace is. I'm just gonna say, sorry guys, I don't know what a track and trace is. I mean, I presume it's to do with COVID, and I'll say this about COVID. I started wearing a mask in the shop, as I said last week in the podcast. An update, I went into a garage to do some shopping today, and I was wearing a mask, and out of about 60 people in there, nobody else was, so I took it off because I thought it looked weird. And that is why COVID's still knocking about, because of people like me. Johnny Dempster, he just gets straight into it. Would you rather have teeth for pubes or pubes for teeth? Definitely teeth for pubes. I would enjoy that because pube teeth would not be a good look. I wouldn't get any more TV programs. Luke Atkinson asked the same question. I don't know whether those guys are married or friends or that's just a coincidence, but there you go. Stephen has sent me a link. I hope it's the link I'm looking for, and not like a link to like Discount Poppers or something, but I mean I hope it is a link to Discount Poppers. Wilkinson Half-Life? We might have the video. Okay, wait. No, that's not what I'm looking for. Featuring Tom Keaton, no. Pootsy, thanks, but no, that's not what I'm looking for. Stephen reckons he's got what I'm looking for here. Let me see. Please be it. Someone sent me this a while ago on the podcast, but we were doing something else, so we didn't get around to talking about it. Okay. Okay, Stephen. You sent me a link to Rick Astley. Never going to give you... You've rickrolled me. You've rickrolled me, and I'm blocking you from Instagram, so there you go. Stephen, delete your account now, and turn yourself into your nearest police station, because that's just fucking rude to do that. But I appreciate it, and I went to the length of copying, because you can't just click on the Instagram link, so I copied it into my browser and then I hit paste, and that's upsetting. Patrick Quinn, the artist formerly known as the Belfast Guy in China, but he says he doesn't know how his name on Instagram changed to not be the Belfast Guy in China. And I think we're gonna, we could spend a long time, figuring out what the crack with that is or what happened. But I can only presume it was an inside job by the Chinese government to change your name. Let me see. Patrick says, have you got a full set of new material ready for when you're back on stage? Will you break into some smooth Craig David style vocals mid stand up? It may have had its day, but fans deserve even one for their money. First of all, to answer your question, yes, I reckon I've written about 45 minutes worth of stand up in lockdown, but I'm not 100% sure. But there's no guarantee with that, so while I've written the material, who knows if it's going to work. I'm looking at it going, that's funny, but I might get up on stage, try it 10 times, and it might never work. So I think I've been pretty prolific with my joke writing, and that is always my advice to stand-ups, or anyone who's trying to get into stand-up, is just write material. You can't go wrong if you just write jokes. Just write material. That's what you do if you're a stand-up. So I've been writing a lot of stuff, and I had written loads of thoughts and ideas before lockdown, so this was a good chance to do it. And I'm just chipping away at it. I'm actually doing my first gig this Saturday night. So tomorrow night, if you're watching this on Friday, and I'm bricking it, I'm very nervous. I feel like I'm rusty, like anybody would, even, and that's weird because I'm very, very talented at stand-up. But I'm buzzing for it. I'm really looking forward to it. But the thing is, do I try all this new material I have, or do I go back and just get back into the rhythm of it by doing tried and tested material? I think I'll do a combination of both. But for the first time, I'm typing my material up and printing it out just so I can walk around the house trying to learn it. But it's good. I mean, being out of your comfort zone, like, that's good. I know that I'm a good stand-up. I know people come to my shows, which is brilliant. So I am good at it, but 4 or 5 months without doing it is huge. It's like if you didn't drive for that long, the first time you got in a car, you'd be nervous and you'd probably make a couple of mistakes. Or any job, you just take, or like you don't go to the gym for that time, you're not going to be as strong. But hopefully I just fall back into the routine of it. I'm buzzing to do it. I've got new material I like. And I just need to get better with... I have a thought for stand-up, I have an idea, and I just try and get a gig that night just to do that material. But I probably need to finesse it a wee bit more before I do it. Because I'll try it, and it'll be like too long, the material, but I'll just stick with it. So I need to just be a wee bit more ruthless with my own writing. That's something Tim said on Wednesday that I definitely took out of my chat with him. The fact that he writes in a team, someone else can go, I know you like that joke, I don't think it works, and then you go, fair enough. When you just write everything by yourself, it's more difficult to just like let jokes go, because you're like, no, I wrote that. So I'm buzzing to get back at it. We never found out what the name of that boy band song was, but when we're back in studio, we will do that. I'm going to wrap up the pod because I'm playing football tonight, which I'm excited for, doing some socially distanced training, and I've just been a bit flat out. So I feel like I've rambled, and I don't want to ramble on too much more. I'll save it for being back in the studio next week, which I'm really excited about. Let me plug our sponsor, which is Manscaped. Manscaped.com. The discount code is teawithme. Manscaped have the Lawnmower 3.0, which is essentially, speaking of pubes like we were, it's a haircut for your pubes. It's a ball trimmer. That's what it is. It's a little dinky razor. It's sleek. It's stylish. It has a little light on it. Oh yes. If you're one of those like, shaving your pubic hair in the dark kind of guys, you get 20% off and free shipping with our code teawithme. If you're even curious about it, you want to check it out, go on their website, manscaped.com, and it's the Lawnmower 3.0. You know I'm a customer. You know producer Dan is a customer. I just did a general shave with mine. He's done the David Beckham sort of 2004 mohawk, and unfortunately he is sending pictures of that out to people, so we're trying to get him not to do that, but he's just very proud of it. Manscaped.com. Patreon.com/teawithmepodcast. If you want to support the pod, that would be great. If you want to fire it on your Instagram story, the podcast, when you listen to it, I'll share it out. That's always appreciated. If you want to leave, I'm asking a lot here, if you want to leave a review on Apple Podcast, do. And if you want to contact us, teawithmepodcast@gmail.com. Sippers, thanks very much. I appreciate you. And I'll see you on Wednesday. Sip, sip.